Did you know that some daily habits could quietly shorten your life? As we age into our 60s, 70s, and beyond, the conversation about health starts to evolve. It's not just about doing more, taking more supplements, pushing harder at the gym, or adding new routines. It's often about doing less of what harms us. In fact, the most powerful changes often come not from what we start, but from what we choose to stop. In this video, we'll explore 10 habits that, if reduced, could help you live longer, feel better, and preserve your energy for what truly matters. These changes aren't drastic or based on trends. They're rooted in common sense, experience, and what health experts and researchers have been quietly advocating for years. From subtle habits that wear on your body over time to mental patterns that erode your well-being. These 10 things are surprisingly common, especially among older adults. The good news? They're all within your control, often requiring just a shift in awareness and a little courage to make different choices. So, if you've ever wondered why some people stay strong, sharp, and vibrant well into their 80s and 90s, this might be part of the answer. Stay with us until the end, as number 10 may change how you view your habits and help you live a little lighter starting today. Let's dive in. Number 1. Constant worry over small things. Worry tends to slip into your day unnoticed. A small thought here, a what if there, and before you know it, your mind is racing over things that either already happened or haven't happened at all. While some worry is normal, stressing about little things constantly is a slow, silent harm. It affects your sleep, digestion, heart health, and even your immune system. The reality is, most of the things we worry about never actually happen. After 60, many people realize just how much energy they've wasted on mental noise, worrying about others' opinions, fearing small things going wrong, or stressing over things they can't control. As that realization hits, they start choosing peace over panic, not because the world is suddenly safe, but because they've decided their nervous system is worth protecting. Studies confirm that chronic stress speeds up the aging process by shortening telomeres, the caps on your DNA that impact cellular aging. But even without science, you've likely felt the difference in your own body, the tightness in your chest, the anxiety in your stomach, and the restless nights that keep you from true rest. Letting go of constant worry isn't about being careless, it's about being selective. You start asking yourself, is this mine to carry? Is this worth my peace? And little by little, you build the mental muscle to redirect your thoughts, choosing calm when your instinct might have chosen chaos. People who live long, vibrant lives often share one key trait. They've made peace with not controlling everything. They focus on what they can change and learn to breathe through what they can't. This shift in mindset, this subtle release, adds years, not just to your life, but to the quality of it. Number 2. Sitting for long periods without movement. One of the sneakiest health risks as we age is something most of us overlook: sitting. And not just occasional sitting, but sitting for hours on end. Whether it's watching TV, reading, driving, or working at a desk, sitting for prolonged periods slowly reduces circulation, weakens muscles, and increases inflammation throughout the body. It doesn't feel dramatic, but over time, it can take a significant toll. Doctors now refer to it as the new smoking, and for good reason. Prolonged sitting has been linked to heart disease, diabetes, joint stiffness, and even early death. Here's the kicker: regular exercise doesn't cancel out the damage. You can go for a walk in the morning, but if you're sitting the rest of the day, the harm still accumulates. What truly matters is how often you move, not just how long. Many older adults, particularly in retirement, fall into a routine that seems relaxing, but is actually sedentary. A bit of TV in the morning, a meal at the table, then more sitting in the afternoon, maybe even a nap. Before you know it, most of the day has passed without much movement. And it's not laziness, it's a habit. It's comfortable. It's what the body has become accustomed to. But what the body truly needs is circulation, muscle activation, and regular changes in position to keep everything running smoothly. Small adjustments can make a huge impact. Standing up every 30 minutes, doing some light stretches in the kitchen while waiting for your coffee to brew, taking phone calls while walking around the room. Even just a few minutes of gentle movement every hour can reactivate your system and significantly reduce your risk of chronic health issues. People who live long, healthy lives share one common trait. They stay in motion, not by running marathons or hitting the gym daily, but by integrating movement naturally into their lives. Gardening, climbing stairs, moving with purpose, moving with joy. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights helpful, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I highly recommend subscribing and turning on the bell so you don't miss any future videos. Your support helps us continue creating content that informs and inspires you. Now let's move on. Number 3, eating late at night. One seemingly harmless habit that can quietly harm your health is eating too close to bedtime. For years, many of us were told that a small bedtime snack wasn't a problem. But research and experience show otherwise. Eating late regularly disrupts digestion, spikes blood sugar, and interferes with your body's natural repair process. After sunset, your metabolism slows down. Your organs shift from active mode into recovery mode. And when you eat late, especially heavy, greasy, or sugary foods, you force your body to work through the night instead of letting it rest. This often leads to poor sleep, indigestion, and increased risks of weight gain, acid reflux, and heart problems over time. What many people don't realize is that your liver and gut function optimally when given long periods without food, especially while you sleep. That overnight fast gives your body time to detoxify, rebalance hormones, and restore energy for the next day. But when you keep eating right before bed, you disrupt this vital healing process. Over time, the effects pile up in the form of foggy mornings, low energy, increased inflammation, and even changes in memory and mood. A simple shift, finishing dinner at least 2 or 3 hours before going to bed, can work wonders. Some people notice improved sleep quality within days. They wake up feeling lighter and more rested. And the funny thing is, they didn't add anything new to their routine. They just stopped doing one small thing that had big consequences. Longevity isn't always about groundbreaking discoveries or magic formulas. Sometimes it's about tuning into your body's natural wisdom and letting it rest when it asks to. Your body already knows how to heal. It just needs space to do so. And stepping away from late-night eating is one of the easiest, most powerful ways to give it that space. Number 4, suppressing your emotions. There's a quiet damage that happens when you spend years bottling up your feelings. For many older adults, especially those raised to be polite, self-controlled, or strong, this habit can become second nature, keeping the peace by keeping things in. But over time, unexpressed emotions don't simply disappear. They settle into the body, and the toll of silence starts to show up in ways that medicine alone can't fix. Chronic emotional suppression has been linked to high blood pressure, heart disease, insomnia, and even autoimmune disorders. When we bottle up emotions like grief, anger, resentment, or fear, the nervous system stays stuck in a constant low-level fight-or-flight response. The body remains tense, the heart races, and stress becomes an ongoing state, not just an occasional one. It doesn't mean you need to become loud or confrontational. It simply means allowing yourself to feel, to acknowledge what's true, to say, "That hurt, I need space," or even, "I'm not okay right now." These are not signs of weakness. They're signs of vitality, signs that you're still engaged, still human, still growing. Some of the longest living people share a common trait. They don't carry emotional weight for too long. They find ways to release it through conversation, prayer, journaling, or even a quiet cry on the porch. They don't pretend to be unaffected. They allow emotions to pass through them instead of trapping them inside. You might be surprised by how much lighter you feel once you stop pretending you're fine when you're not. How your sleep improves, how your shoulders relax, and how your appetite stabilizes. Because when you make space for emotional honesty, your body responds with trust, and that trust manifests as health, ease, and often added years to your life. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any future videos. Your support helps us continue creating content that informs and inspires you. Now let's move on. Number 5. Overconsuming processed sugar. Sugar has a way of sneaking into our lives little by little. A teaspoon in your coffee, a couple of cookies after lunch, or a slice of cake at a social gathering. On their own, none of these seem harmful, but the cumulative effect can be far more damaging than we realize, especially as we age. The less processed sugar you consume, the better your chances of avoiding inflammation, memory loss, and chronic diseases. As we get older, our metabolism slows, and our bodies become more sensitive to sugar's effects. What may have had little impact in your 30s can now quietly disrupt your energy, spike your blood sugar, and put unnecessary stress on your heart, liver, and kidneys. And because sugar is addictive, it's easy to fall into a cycle of cravings, even when your body is asking for less. Research has linked excessive sugar intake to everything from type 2 diabetes to dementia. High blood sugar can damage blood vessels, including those in the brain, accelerating cognitive decline. For older adults, this often manifests as forgetfulness, brain fog, or mood swings. But cutting back on sugar, even just a little, can lead to clearer thinking, more stable energy, and even better sleep. It's not about quitting all sweets. It's about choosing natural sources like fruit or reducing added sugars in things like cereals, sauces, and drinks. Simply becoming aware of where sugar hides can help you make better choices. When you do, your body responds, your taste buds reset, and your overall vitality starts to return. Many older adults who cut back on sugar say the same thing. I didn't realize how tired I had been until I stopped. Because sugar may give you a quick rush, but it always takes more than it gives. Choosing less isn't about restriction. It's about restoration, giving your body the chance to thrive, not just survive. And over time, that decision adds up to more energy, clearer thinking, and possibly even more years. Number 6. Ignoring sleep signals. One of the most overlooked contributors to a longer life is also one of the simplest, sleep. But not just sleep in general, responding to your body's natural signals when it asks for rest. Too many older adults push through drowsiness, stay up late watching television, or disrupt their natural rhythms with inconsistent sleep schedules. While this may seem harmless in the moment, the long-term effects on your health can be significant. Sleep isn't just about feeling rested. It's when your brain cleanses itself, your tissues repair, and your hormones rebalance. Every system in your body benefits from consistent, quality sleep, and the older you get, the more important it becomes. When you regularly ignore your body's cues, staying up past your tiredness, eating too late, or letting screens keep your mind active, you rob yourself of the deep cellular restoration that sleep offers. There's a common myth that we need less sleep as we age. But the truth is, older adults often get less sleep because they stop honoring the natural patterns that promote restful sleep. Bright lights late at night, caffeine too late in the day, or even a restless mind full of unfinished thoughts. All of these things interfere with the gentle descent into rest that your body craves. Listening to your body's signals can be as simple as noticing when your eyelids start to feel heavy in the evening, or when your focus begins to fade. That's your body telling you it's time. And when you respond with care, by creating a calm environment, limiting stimulation, and getting into bed when your body's ready, you begin to rebuild a relationship with rest that can carry you well into your later years. People who live long, healthy lives often have strong sleep habits, not rigid schedules, but rhythms they honor. They don't treat sleep as an inconvenience. They treat it as sacred. And when you do the same, you'll likely notice more energy during the day, better digestion, sharper memory, and a stronger immune response. It's not about perfection. It's about being intentional, noticing what your body is whispering, and having the wisdom to listen before it has to shout. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 6 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend subscribing and turning on the bell so you don't miss any future videos. Your support helps us continue creating content that informs and inspires you. Now, let's move forward. Number 7, isolating yourself from others. There's a quiet danger in isolation, and it doesn't always show up as expected. It's not just about being alone. It's about going days without meaningful conversation, withdrawing when you need support, or convincing yourself that keeping to yourself is easier than reaching out. But the longer you stay in that pattern, the more it affects not just your mood, but your body and even your lifespan. Social isolation has been linked in studies to higher rates of cognitive decline, depression, and even mortality. Prolonged loneliness can be just as harmful to your health as smoking or obesity, and yet it often goes unnoticed. Why? Because it's easy to hide. It's easy to say, "I'm just tired," or "people are busy," or "I've gotten used to being on my own." But even the most independent among us are wired for connection. Humans, especially as we age, need shared moments, even small ones, to stay emotionally and physically well. A walk with a neighbor, a phone call with a friend, a conversation with someone at the grocery store. These might seem small, but they carry weight. They remind you that you matter, that you're still part of something bigger than yourself. After 60, many find themselves in a quieter season. Children have grown, careers have slowed, and familiar routines have shifted. It's easy, in that quiet, to fade from the community. But that's when connection matters most. The beauty is, it doesn't have to be complicated. Just a few steady relationships, a few regular conversations can make all the difference in how your brain functions, how your immune system responds, and how deeply you feel joy. People who age well aren't necessarily surrounded by crowds, but they're not disconnected either. They make a point to stay in touch. They reach out even when it feels awkward. They say yes to the invitation. They check in on others. And in doing so, they not only add years to their life, but life to their years. If you've been pulling back, consider this a gentle nudge. Someone out there probably hopes to hear from you today, and just one meaningful moment might be all it takes to remind your nervous system that you're not alone. Number 8. Rushing through meals. In a fast-paced world, eating slowly might seem like a lost art, but after 60, how you eat becomes just as important as what you eat. Rushing through meals, eating while standing, distracted, or in a hurry, not only affects digestion, but can lead to overeating, poor nutrient absorption, and an increased risk of chronic issues like heartburn, bloating, and even weight gain. When you eat too quickly, your body doesn't have enough time to signal fullness, which means you may consume more than needed before your brain catches up. For older adults, this can be especially tricky because metabolism slows and digestion becomes more delicate with age. A heavy meal eaten too fast can leave you sluggish, uncomfortable, or even disrupt your blood sugar levels for hours afterward. But there's something else, something deeper. Meals aren't just fuel, they're moments of pause, opportunities to check in with your body, your emotions, and the simple pleasures of life. When you eat slowly, you engage all your senses. You notice the flavor, the texture, the warmth. You chew more fully, helping your gut do its job more easily. You breathe between bites, giving your nervous system a chance to settle. Slowing down at the table isn't about being fancy, it's about being kind to your body. It's a way of saying, I'm not in a race, and that mindset carries over into other parts of your life. Your sleep, stress levels, and ability to feel present instead of just productive. People who live long, healthy lives often treat meals with reverence, not as something to get through, but as something to savor. Whether eating alone or with company, they give themselves time. Time to reflect, time to digest, not just the food, but the day. If you've fallen into the habit of eating on autopilot, see what happens when you take just 5 extra minutes. Sit down, take a deep breath, and put the fork down between bites. You might find that slowing down at the table helps you speed up your healing. And it's one of the gentlest habits you can build for a longer, more nourished life. Number 9. Staying in toxic environments. One of the hardest lessons as we age is learning that peace of mind is not a luxury. It's a necessity. Yet many spend years, sometimes decades, staying in environments that slowly drain them. Whether it's a relationship that leaves you feeling small, a social circle filled with criticism or gossip, or even a home where conflict constantly simmers beneath the surface. Whatever the case, the body keeps score. The longer you stay in these environments, the more it begins to affect your health. Toxic spaces don't always make themselves known loudly. Sometimes it's the subtle tension in your chest when you enter a room, the way you brace yourself before a conversation, the way your sleep suffers, or your appetite shifts without an obvious cause. Over time, chronic exposure to emotional stress raises cortisol, weakens your immune system, and can lead to long-term conditions like hypertension, digestive issues, and anxiety. After 60, your tolerance for these environments often begins to wane, not because you've become weaker, but because you've grown wiser. You start to realize that longevity isn't just about diet and exercise, it's about atmosphere, the emotional climate you live in. And sometimes, the most important health decision you can make isn't about what you eat, but who you're around and how you feel in their presence. Making a change doesn't always mean walking away entirely. Sometimes it means setting boundaries, carving out space for yourself, even within difficult situations. But in many cases, it means letting go of roles you've outgrown, relationships that no longer serve you, or places that no longer feel like home. People who age well tend to create spaces around them that are calm, supportive, and emotionally safe. They know healing happens faster in peace than in intention, and they're not afraid to choose solitude over hostility, stillness over drama. If something in your life feels toxic, listen closely. That discomfort is not weakness, it's wisdom. It's your body and spirit telling you, we can't thrive here anymore. The less time you spend in those environments, the more space you create for healing, clarity, and a life that feels genuinely livable. If you're still watching and finding this valuable, please comment number 9 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 10. Overusing alcohol or self-medication. As we get older, our bodies become more sensitive to what we put in them. This includes alcohol, over-the-counter medications, and even herbal remedies. What once felt harmless, a nightly glass of wine, a pill to sleep, something to take the edge off, can start having outsized effects on your liver, brain, and overall vitality. And while no one sets out to harm themselves, the habit of reaching for a quick fix can slowly turn into a pattern that shortens both lifespan and quality of life. Alcohol, in particular, affects older adults differently. As muscle mass decreases and water retention changes, the body processes alcohol more slowly. A drink that seemed mild in your 40s might now hit much harder. Now, reaction time slows, sleep becomes disrupted, blood pressure starts to rise, and worst of all, it becomes easy to overlook these changes until a fall happens, memory lapses become more frequent, or your doctor raises a red flag at your next checkup. The same goes for sleep aids, pain relievers, or anti-anxiety medications taken without close monitoring. They may offer temporary relief, but when used long-term, they can cloud your thinking, weaken your balance, or strain your organs. And many times, what begins as an occasional habit becomes a quiet dependency, one that leaves you more tired, more foggy, and more vulnerable. Choosing to do less of these things doesn't mean you never enjoy a glass of wine or avoid necessary medication. It means becoming more aware of what your body is telling you. It means asking yourself, is this helping me heal, or is it helping me avoid? More often than not, it means seeking other ways to unwind, a walk, a warm bath, a conversation. Things that not only soothe your system, but nourish it. People who live long, steady lives tend to use less, not more. They don't rely on substances to regulate their mood or force their body into rest. They work with their body instead of pushing against it. And that choice, day after day, helps preserve not just their years, but their clarity, independence, and joy. So if something has become a habit that no longer feels helpful, it's never too late to step back and reevaluate. Not out of shame, but out of respect. Respect for the life you still have to live and the health you're working to protect. Final thoughts. As we bring this video to a close, I want to invite you to take a quiet moment and ask yourself which of these 10 habits shows up most often in your life. Which one feels familiar? Not because it's serving you, but because it's become part of the background noise of your routine. You see, longevity isn't always about adding more. Sometimes It's about subtracting the very things that weigh you down, the patterns that stress your body, the habits that slowly erode your health, and the behaviors that take more than they give. The beauty is, you don't need to change everything overnight. Often, just becoming aware is the first step towards something better. Maybe today, you decide to move a little more, to speak up instead of holding back, to rest when you're tired, or to eat without rushing. Maybe you'll let go of just one thing that no longer makes sense for your body, your peace of mind, or your path forward. Because the less you do of what drains you, the more space you create for what restores you. And in that space, life becomes not just longer, but fuller, richer, and more truly your own. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating great content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.